red everywhere, essentially.
Biggest fall since 2008.
A total bloodbath here.
Can't look at it after you buy it.
Stocks falling, the most they have in 2 years.
Selling everything. This is exactly what many investors turn to when experiencing deep fear within the markets. So this week has definitely been an absolute bloodbath in the crypto and financial markets, crushing the portfolio of many bullish investors. But I will say this, now that we are coming to the end of the week, we finally are getting some good news. And for the month of April, the US economy went ahead and added 428,000 jobs, extending a streak of consistent hiring that has defied brutal inflation and supply shortages. In this video, we'll be talking about the current macroeconomic challenges that we face in the headlines for the market today. On top of that, I at least want to give you guys a game plan on some of the mindset strategy that you should have an investor if you're feeling a little stirred up during this time. Now, if you are liking these daily market updates, be sure to like this video down below and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And with that being said, let's hop into the computer and see what's going on for today. All right, so the crypto and financial markets as a whole dropped on Thursday, and today's market opening is contributing to the overall market crash. This started out with US stocks getting spanked, with tech stocks losing billions of dollars and the Nasdaq down about 7.5% to levels we haven't seen since 2020. On top of that, the Dow Jones is down 6% and Bitcoin has declined 9.5% in the past couple days, with the price going as low as $36,000, a level that we have not seen since February. So Bitcoin's crash coincided with the US dollar index reaching its highest level since December 2002. If you don't know what the US dollar index is, just real quick, this is just the measure of the value of the US dollar relative to a basket of other foreign currencies. So in that basket, they compare the strength of the US dollar to the euro, the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, the Canadian dollar, the British pound, and the Swedish krona. Now, one video I highly recommend you guys to check out if you haven't done so already is going to be from Ray Dalio's channel. This video is titled Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. And instead of taking a full semester at an Ivy League business school, you can actually just watch this video and learn everything you need to know for that entire year semester. It's one of the best put together videos, and it'll explain exactly the value of the dollar that we have, the dollar index. And, you know, it'd be cool if I had some type of affiliation with Ray Dalio. I don't. I'll call him my friend. He doesn't know who I am, but I'll call him my friend. And I'll say this, it's just a really good video, and it's at least going to get you educated on knowing what is going on in today's world circumstance. So the US dollar index peaked nearly 104 earlier today, growing at a 9.65% rate since the start of this year. What this means is investors are looking to liquefy their positions and find a safe haven within the dollar. Now, if you're asking why we even mention the dollar index, is because there is actually a correlation between Bitcoin and what the dollar index does. Taking a look at this graph, you'll notice that Bitcoin was on the uptrend during a similar time when actually the dollar index was doing the exact opposite. This was going down in price. There's been countless amount of different studies just talking about the correlation between these two assets, but what's most important and what we actually see through the fine line is that when the dollar index goes down, the inverse correlation happens where the price of Bitcoin would go up. Now that we have the dollar index continuing to go to all-time highs, we're seeing the exact opposite happen, where Bitcoin is now going down in price. What this means for us is usually in market downturns and recessions, people like to move towards liquid assets and they don't want to have too much of their money tied up within the markets. At the same time, when the federal government is working to lower the risk of inflation, it doesn't mean that it's happening right away. So if I moved all of my assets into the dollar, but we still are experiencing inflation, I'd still be losing out on that amount during this time. According to CoinShares' latest figures, the total amount of money that has flown out of the market owing to institutional investor withdrawals in a month has now resulted in over $339 million. On top of that, if we pull this down to the 7-day charts for the total amount of cryptocurrency locked into the market, we'll notice that we've actually been able to see a drop in value as far as 11%, coming from about the $1.8 trillion mark to $1.64 trillion at the time of filming this video. Now, more and more investment analysts are setting Bitcoin price targets of $30,000 or lower in the upcoming months, but also keep in mind that these so-called research experts and investment analysts are many many times wrong because it's pretty much impossible to know what may happen in the future. So my non-financial advice, I would say hope for the best, but still prepare for the worst. The worst could be seeing Bitcoin falling below $30,000 and altcoins plummeting with it. But even in that instance, the thing that I would do, at least in this market, is just to continue adding on to my bags. Because of all the further developments of world adoption, regulation, and many investors trying to enter the scene, people are actually waiting for Bitcoin to hit certain levels before they start to invest. When this happens, that's when we see what we call the reversal within the market. At this point, this is when we begin to start seeing some liftoff. And even if we take a look at the current crypto fear and greed index for today, where when we see extreme fear, everyone's freaking out, this is when you want to consider as an investor to make those cautious decisions, not following the market trends and not selling off your investment, but to play it smart. The smart thing here would be to realize that you're not in the crypto markets for just short-term gains. Some of you guys might have that mindset because you hear so many people every day just making these astronomical amounts during the bull ride. But when we're in a more bearish, red, darker moment, you have to make sure that you take different strategies and routes than you otherwise would. This means when the market plummets, you see your portfolio going down an extraordinary amount, you don't settle in, you don't let the fear consume you, but you take a more logical stance and realize Bitcoin, crypto, this adoption is happening. And right now, even if the markets aren't doing well, it doesn't mean it's going to stay like this forever. Try to imagine where the markets would be 6 months or even a year from now. Try to imagine where the markets would be 2 to 3 or even 5 years from now. Most people don't care about their 401ks or their Roth IRA, even if it goes up or down, because they know regardless, they're holding it for a long time. You need to have that mindset when it comes to crypto so that you don't end up panic selling and also making mistakes emotionally as an investor. If prices continue to drop, it's as easy as this. It's giving you and other investors an opportunity to invest at an incredible price level that will pay off in the future and create that financial freedom that you're striving for. In both bear markets and bull markets, it's always important that you have an exit strategy, you have an investment plan that benefits you in the long run so you don't get overwhelmed with either fear or greed for the markets. Focus on what you can control and do not let your emotions get ahead of you. Sticking by the rule of thumb, time in the market versus trying to time the market every single time and trying to reach what you think is the bottom may not be the best. Just buy in, dollar cost average when the markets are showing extreme fear, play it long, and when we start seeing the return of money flowing back, it's during those times where you can start celebrating those wins and getting those profits off the table. All right, guys. Now, amidst all the red, we do actually have some green winners as well. We have Algorand up 12%, Tron up 12%, Anchor up 9%, Gala up 6%. And we do have some big losers, but it hasn't been getting too wrecked in the top 100 altcoins as well. Now, STEP and GMT has also been having a pretty strong correction within the market. In the last 7 days, they're down 35%. And I do still believe that this crypto is going to be a long-term hold. Now, real quick, just doing a fast scan of the market, I think Ethereum is an extremely strong buy right now, especially if you use utility within any DeFi or NFT spaces. Ethereum is just a long-term hold. I do not think an Ethereum killer, AVAX, Solana, anything will come out and ever replace Ethereum. I think they will just continue to grow in the market. So this means we're going to see some opportunity. We still see Solana within that $81 zone. Terra Luna right now still at $79, and just a lot of other altcoins right now opening up those opportunities for you guys to enter at a good price. So Bitcoin went ahead and marked a milestone in their mining journey on Thursday, crossing the halfway point on the next way to the upcoming halving. If you didn't know, halving occurs every 210,000 blocks, and May 5th marks the crossover point into the second leg of 105,000 blocks. The next halving is due to take place in April 2024, and anytime we've had a halving before in the past, many people often assume this is going to be the signal to the next bull run. So historically, the Bitcoin halving has had a positive impact on the price of Bitcoin in the long term. So after the first halving in 2012, Bitcoin reached a record high of $1,000 by November 2013. After the second halving in 2016, Bitcoin took off again and reached a record high of $20,000. Now, the last halving that took place was back in May of 2020, where Bitcoin was at a price of $8,600 and went up to $30,000 by the end of the year. Now, in my opinion, the halving does create that scarcity. It brings Bitcoin back into the news, and it also just naturally reduces the amount of supply. This in turn, with the basic principle of economics, allows a greater price to happen as soon as we see demand skyrocketing. Now, while many people are still hesitant within this market, we actually got word that Luna Foundation Guard buys another $1.5 billion in Bitcoin to back the Terra stablecoin. So this nearly doubles the Guard's previous reserves from 42,530 Bitcoin up to 80,394. Now, the reason why this is important is because the CEO of Do Kwon even stated, for the first time, you're starting to see a pegged currency that is attempting to observe the Bitcoin standard. It's also making a strong directional bet that's keeping a lot of these foreign reserves in the form of a digital native currency, and it's going to be a winning recipe. Do Kwon has also mentioned before that he wants to become the largest Bitcoin holder after Satoshi. His goal is to accumulate over $10 billion in Bitcoin to back their stablecoin, and I do think if he's able to accomplish this goal, it's going to continue to increase the price of Bitcoin. Now, even with headlines like this, we can just see large institutions within the crypto space are still rather bullish. I just don't think we'd be seeing billionaires and a lot of these companies continuing to buy up Bitcoin if Bitcoin was doomed for failure. Just like the mindset that we see some of these larger institutions make, you should also consider doing this at a much smaller scale. Now, it's not financial advice, it's just something that I'm also doing that has proven out before in the past. Pulling Bitcoin into the all-time charts, we've seen it come down before in cycles, but overall, if we take a look at the lifetime growth of this cryptocurrency, it's still made tremendous amount of gains. Now, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did not do so already, don't forget to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, on top of that, if you guys have been looking for a cryptocurrency exchange to use, don't forget to check out FTX listed down below in the description. With them, you can get up to 85% lower fees than their top competitors. There's no fixed minimum fees, no ACH transaction fees, and you can also set up reoccurring buys directly from within the app. On top of that, if you want to check out FTX, you can also find yourself earning free crypto on every trade over $10. And by using my code JUNG, you can also find yourself getting an additional $100 deposited into your account. Now, if you guys do want to qualify for the $100, you just have to trade $1,000. If you can't do that and you have $500, you'll still get $50. And if you have just $100 that you want to trade with, you can still find yourself earning a free $10 as well. On top of that, don't forget to check out the links down below in the description where you can also follow me over on Twitter and on Instagram. If you do follow me, watch out for impersonators and scammers that will also follow you and DM you trying to sell things. So just be careful when you do that. Today is also a very special day because today we have opened up some additional spots within our Patreon. I know a lot of you guys have been trying to get in, but if you guys do want an access and you missed out on the spots being open, which happened at 5 o'clock Eastern time today, go ahead and check out the free Discord link down below. Within there, we're also curating a waitlist right now so you guys can have access to get an invitation to our group if you still want to join. We are taking things very slow and steady. We have an amazing community, and if you guys want to check out some of the testimonials we got from our current members right now, check out the link down below in the description within our Discord group. Now, guys, if you did make it all the way towards the end of this video, you did enjoy it, don't forget to comment down below the secret word for today, and that is going to be Chavez. Comment down below Chavez because I watched Doctor Strange last night, and I think one of the character last names were Chavez. That was a good movie. I love Marvel. I said that yesterday. I'm gonna say it today. I love Marvel. That movie came out yesterday, and I highly recommend it. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you all so much again for watching this video. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.